Hello everyone and welcome to the first live stream of the year. I hope you had a good start into the new year. Happy New Year! A little bit late, but yeah, I hope everyone is doing well, and we're gonna do something we haven't done in a while. We're gonna have a look at 11-Second Club competitions and entries. In case you don't know, the 11-Second Club is an animation competition where people can submit whatever they animated to an 11-second long audio snippet, and yeah, it's always a great opportunity for the people who participate to learn something, sharpen their animation skills, and it's very awesome for us who we can now watch these wonderful competition entries and see what we can learn from them. And I already see there are a lot of wonderful people in the chat. Oh, my chat box isn't working here. What is going on with that one? Yeah, apologies, this live stream might be a little bit chaotic. I have a new computer, which is pretty exciting because I'll be able to do all kinds of awesome 3D stuff soon, and hopefully stream while doing it. But yeah, this also means I had to set up everything once again, and so some things might still have to be optimized, but yeah, we'll crack that at some point. I see Hilly is there. Yeah, long time no see. Nice to see you. Hello Vivek. Hello Jamik. Yeah, cool. You're practicing animation. That's awesome. All right. Okay, so the chat widget to the right here, for whatever reason, doesn't seem to work, but I still see your lovely chat messages, and will react to them accordingly. Let's just jump right in. Let me know if there's anything with the audio, like if the music needs to be quieter or louder, or if my voice is too quiet or something like that. Just let me know, and I'll see if I can fix it. But yeah, so I already looked at a couple entries, and it's very exciting. We have a couple 2D entries and even a stop motion entry very early on in the competition, which I think is really amazing, and I already saw a ton of interesting stuff. This is gonna be a good live stream, I think, with lots of tips and tricks of different kind, which I think is really cool in these 11-Second Club competitions, if we can see a lot of different styles, a lot of different approaches to this same prompt. So let's actually switch off the music for now and watch the first entry, the first place, Photo on Christmas Night by Sirapat.
Oh my god!
I mean, I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Pretty decent photo of you, though. Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence. Oh my god!
I love the whole situation. Like, it feels very like, you know, this could be from like a modern romantic comedy where we now have all like smartphones and laptops and stuff like that. And it's a very interesting kind of challenge to, you know, now in your filmmaking process, in your image composition, you have to deal with these devices in your shot, and how do you stage them for all of this to work. I mean, I guess this is an over-the-shoulder shot. It's just that, you know, the shoulder of the one character is just the laptop screen. So very cool. Love the shaky camera for him. Maybe it's actually a little bit too... I'm not sure the camera would actually move like that, but I really like those big, and there are a lot of keys in these gestures.
I mean, I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
there's a little bit of an up and down. To my taste, maybe a little bit too much, where some poses have just been modified to, like, you know, go a little bit further and then back again.
I mean, I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
I really like these little moments, like this where she says, like, I look like a deer, and she has like this little.
I mean, I look like a deer. I mean, I look like a deer in the headlights.
Like this interrupted eye sound. I think is captured very well here in the gesture and the dialogue.
I mean, I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Pretty decent photo of you, though. Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence.
So how does the picture actually look? Okay. Yeah, so let's see some things we can take note at. I do like how the eyebrows always have this like clear eyebrow area that they're opening up. You always have this. This is like a great trick for eyebrows. Always imagine that they just have one eyebrow. So you have like this line going through them, and when they have like other eyebrow poses, it's more like this, and it's just very readable, very clear facial expressions that you get this way. So that's a really good technique to use, and yeah, it works pretty well here. Especially because the animation is a little bit bouncy. Hey Darwin up.
Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence. Oh my God.
I mean, I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
No, you don't.
Yes.
Personally, I think the poses are a little bit too much. I mean, obviously the person who animates this knows what they're doing. They know their way around the software. For my taste, it's a little bit too bouncy. Like, I would love to see them commit to poses a little bit more. And if you have watched any of my previous 11SecondClub movies, you probably already know this. And do you actually hear the mouse scratching a lot? It's right under the mic. Maybe I kind of have to optimize that workflow, I think. Or at least get a mouse pad or something. So when she does something like...
I mean, I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
I look like a deer in the headlight in this photo. The pose that I like the most, although it's a little bit cliche in here, is the moment where she touches her chest with the hand. Because, you know, it really goes with the I look like a deer in the headlight. With the I, it could really be used to stress that word. And it just goes under.
I mean, I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
No, you don't.
I think I would just have kept the hand there. You know, maybe like have it drop a little bit, or maybe just go slightly open. But, you know, going like something over here, then back here, and, you know, it's just a little bit too much if it bounces all over the place. Hilly says, Animator Island advocating for monobrows. Yes! I tell you, it makes a huge difference. It can make your animation really a lot nicer. Oh, let me set up my other tool here. Can I highlight chat comments? That would be kind of nice to at least be able to do that. Well, that doesn't want to work. Maybe the Twitch comments will work. I don't know. It's a little bit rough and tumble. Hilly says the characters look like an ad for Samsung or something. Yeah, it has this like bright romantic comedy advertisement feel to it.
Headlights in this photo.
No, you don't.
And I mean, you know, look at that workspace here.
Yes, I do. Pretty decent photo of you, though. Look at that.
Here, same. Like, I think when she says like pretty decent photo of you, though, I think to stress this like pretty decent photo of you, though, like I would not have too many accents there. I would probably have an accent there. Pretty decent photo of you, though. You know, maybe two. Like, pretty decent photo of you, though. At the beginning and at the end, maybe. I mean, maybe this one doesn't have more than that. It's just...
Pretty decent photo of you, though. Look at that.
It just doesn't come to a rest.
Look at that. Pretty decent photo of you, though. Look at that.
Pride only one.
But, you know, it also, the thing is, when you're animating and you're watching your animation over and over again, it's easy to fall into this trap of like, oh, the motion starts to feel a little bit dull, but often it starts feeling dull because you saw it over and over again. And that is, like, I drop into this overacting a lot too, just because I got used to it. Darwinop asks, can you add one more detailed video about adding breakdowns in animation? I already watched one in your channel. That favoring tip was awesome. I changed my animation to a new level. That's awesome. Yeah, sure, we can investigate breakdowns a little bit more, especially because I think, you know, that's a thing that is very often underestimated, how powerful it can really be. Okay, so really good animation, a little bit too jumpy for my taste, but a deserved first place. The first place of the 11 Second Club will get an animation critique anyway, so let's jump on to the second one. You know, the prize is an animation critique from, I think, an animation mentor animator. So yeah, they probably don't need any more feedback from me here. Let's have a look at what the other people were doing, because that's also highly interesting and I think deserving a spotlight, which I really like to do with my stream here, to really see all this wonderful stuff that people put into their animation. I can already tell that I'm gonna like this one.
Oh my god!
I mean, I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Pretty decent photo of you, though. Look at that.
Pride only one in existence.
I really love this one. There are so many little things that make this so lively, just by the way how the cinematography is.
Oh my god.
The slow pan in, the very clear poses. Look at these delightful poses. That is so nice. You have him so clearly leaned in, leaned over, and because he's so tall, he needs to compensate by having both, by going into the knees with both legs. And then look at her pose. I really love the inward turned legs. That is so nice. And the contrast here is just so amazing, how her pose is like this block, very symmetric, very static, and he's leaning in, he's moving a lot more, and she's like still I can't believe it. Like, that sets a little bit of like a freeze response, like if you know about like freeze, flight, or fight, which is how we humans instinctively process situation. I mean, it comes from dangerous situation, but it's also still like, you know, if you're focusing on something, we are a lot more still, and she's still processing, and he's already like full into the reaction, which I think is really nice to have two characters in different modes at the same time on screen.
Oh my god.
I mean, I look...
And I love how characters walking through the screens is used in this one. Like, we have the slow pan in, we have those characters that we see in this full body shot, and then we have characters running through the shot.
God.
I mean, I look like a deer.
Which makes this so much more lively. Like, there are people around there. It's a mall. That's really, really cool and really effective. And, you know, they're all happy with their image. Then, you know, intensifying, that makes a lot of sense. Like, the first one is all about, like, okay, who are those different characters? They are in different moods. The guy finds it very funny. The woman is still processing. There are happy people around.
God.
I mean, I look
And then we fully focus on her. That is so
like a
nice.
deer in the headlights in this photo.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
And see how there's like this one accent,
I look like a deer in the headlights in this.
and then for a long time there's just lip sync. There's just
I look like a deer.
this eye, and then for look like a deer in the headlight, she just holds the pose. And that also favors the guy coming in here in the corner, which is really nice. And look how he does it. Like, he drops down in an arc and then suddenly up. This going up is really important, really nice. Makes this a lot more organic.
Deer in the headlights in this.
That is such a nice little touch. Then you have the wobbly lines, even in the static drawings.
Deer in the headlights in this photo.
No, you don't.
Yes, I.
And this, that he goes in front of her. Again, it's playing with this filmic space here. That's so nice. Look at that.
The headlights in this photo.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
For my taste, a little bit fast.
No, you don't.
Yes,
I think, let's see, what's the last frame? I think I would have probably turned these two into, like, have given it one or two more. Because if you have, like, I would probably have done one frame where, like, having something go off screen that wasn't carefully accelerated. Like, if you have something that, like, you know, spend a lot of frames accelerating in this direction, then you can have like a big spacing, like, you know, maybe like this big for it to vanish off screen. But if it's like a walk, I think I wouldn't dare to have that spacing so big. I would probably have one where it like is just about to vanish off screen, and then one similar to how it is, but like just a little bit more. Like, I feel like that would be the distance that I would be more comfortable with to make this exit a little bit softer, especially because we don't want to have like a snappy quick spacing here, because that will drag attention over, and, you know, we want this attention on her face. So I think that's a little bit
Don't.
yes, I do.
too fast. But I love her facial expression. Oh yeah, Hilly says it too. The faces are great. I totally agree.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
And this is so nice that after these many symmetric poses that were just variation from that beginning pose, the first time that we break out of this is at frame 135. Up until now, they kept the basic setup here. By the way, who did this animation? Justin Jenkins. Really nice animation. I really like it.
Yes, I do. Yes,
Left, right, left, right, how it was in the previous one. It's just a tilt back, which in 2D animation is more difficult to do. You know, we see more of the top of her head. Then she has this appalled reaction, where we see less of the top of her head. And then, yeah, here, and then we go back where we see a little bit more, and she tilts the head to the other side, and that O shape.
I do.
I do.
I do.
That is so nice. Important thing to remember, you know, that O shapes, they don't have to be O's. Like, it's very tempting to always draw something that is like this, but you know, O's can be more like this. They can be O's. They can be like, depending on what style you have, you could also do something like this. So that is pretty good.
Pretty decent photo of you, though.
I love those mouth shapes. That's really nice. So her mouth has like a very upwards, like that's also a thing, you know. The classic mouth shape that we see a lot is like opening to the bottom, but her mouth shape is opening up to the top more and reveals that row of teeth, which is pretty cool, because you know, realistically, people have different mouth shapes and reveal more or less going up or going down with their lips, and then there's also this expression of disgust, which goes into like a little bit of this like snarl with the nose pulling up the skin here. Like, you know, disgust very often is more like this when you pull up the corner of one side, but yeah, I feel like it has a little bit of that. It has a unique character shape. It has a unique character shape. It has this disgust expression in it, which I think is pretty nice.
Like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
No, you don't.
Look at the narrowing of the eyes when she says photo.
Headlights in this photo.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Pretty decent photo of you, though. Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence.
And then there's so much happening in the last couple of seconds. Almost a shame that it goes so fast. I think it would probably be okay for like a, I guess like a, I mean, this is above television quality, because it goes so much into like 3D space and into really like, it's really fluent, has a lot of frames. So let's see what's going on in the chat, actually. Just curious, what are you using to do these reviews? Is this a program or website? So we're watching the competition entries on 11secondclub.com. This is just the player from the 11 Second Club, which is pretty cool because it has the you can scrub through it frame by frame. And then I use a software called Epic Pen that allows me to draw on the screen here. So yeah, for this one, it's a little bit of a mix. But there's an awesome software if you want to drop an animation into for analysis. It's called SyncSketch, syncsketch.com. I can really recommend that one. Alex says, as someone who struggles with expressions, I'm learning a lot right here. I'm happy to hear that. I find it's a fascinating topic. Let me see where we maybe there's some more things that I can say. Oh, look at his face here. I love how, you know, this is not just a side view of a character. Like, this is a very big step in your animation quality when you go from just showing, like, you know, showing your character 3/4 is already a pretty cool feat. That's already a pretty cool achievement if you have the character in a 3/4 view like this. That's really cool. But then the next step is if you get a feeling for like the top plane of the character, and you know, this is what is happening here. We don't see a lot of the top of his head, but if we would see more, we could see that, you know, he's tilted in a way that we see more of this line at the top here, and that's why we see more of the top of the nose and of the top of the lip. That is what is happening here. This area is the top of the lip, and we see more of it because not only because he's pushing it forward, but also because of the perspective. Sync Sketch is the name of the software. Let's syncsketch.com. Let's put it in the chat for the people who want to check it out. All right. Okay. Look at how he digs in his. By the way, we're doing the same trick again with the head tilt, but this time the head is tilted. His head is tilted in the other direction. This time we can see the bottom plane of the cube of the head. So that's pretty cool. The most recent video that I made on this channel is about this topic, about thinking in blocks and looking at things from the underside, so you might want to check that out. Okay, just reading the chat a little bit. I'm still trying to fix that I can bring your that I can bring single comments up on screen, and unfortunately there are some things that just don't want to work today. Live stream chat. Oh boy. Hello, Infinite Imagination. Nice to see you. Alex's mind is blown. Machiavelli is here for the first time. Welcome, welcome. Glad it's helpful. Yeah. Let me know if you have any wishes for topics, anything that you would like to hear more about. Then maybe I can talk about it right now, or, you know, make a video about it, or actually tell you about all the wonderful videos that we already have on this channel. Hey Soda Pop, nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. So, let's see.
Pretty decent photo of you.
Oh yeah, the thing that I wanted to show, like the digging in the pocket.
Pretty decent.
It's so exaggerated. Again, a little bit too fast maybe, but with this anticipation, or like, actually, you know, this is a breakdown here where we have, if you just track the hand is being pulled over there, and then from this motion, snap, it just goes into the pocket, and then he digs using the shoulder a lot, which is, you know, that's very exaggerated. You wouldn't really do it like that, I guess, but
pretty decent photo of you.
I guess it fits his energy level, and then he pulls it out, and in a similar pattern, like there's this big spacing when he pulls out the thing, and then it eases into this position, like these two pictures for the hand are very similar, and then we have the sheets falling down, and that's some nice secondary action, some nice like paper falling.
Photo of you though.
A bit quick, like the ending. I just, you know, not many pictures, maybe like 2 frames more for a lot of these motions. I think could have brought some clarity into it, because, you know, also the lines are very sketchy, which is okay. You know, you can animate like this, you can scribble like this, and worry about cleanup later. That's totally legitimate. But especially because the drawings are so unsharp, I think I would have liked to have given more, like a couple frames more.
Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence.
And, you know, here, like, there is the animator knows about a lot of stuff and posing things that will make an animation great. It's just I'm missing like this last little thing. I think what I would have done to, you know, because to pull someone anywhere is it needs some strength. It needs some what's the word? You need to build up momentum, and I think I would have, like, especially this, like, this is a really nice acting gesture to have her grab him and pull him in. That's a really good idea, and it just goes under because, you know, she's immediately
Probably the only one in existence.
under the curtain. So I think I would have, like, really, this is a really good acting idea. I would have really done more with this. Like, I do like this frame, so this is kind of what we start with, and then the next frame I would have had one where, you know, heavy favoring. This is like almost exactly the same, just going over a tiny little bit, but maybe have like the arm be dragged all the way, like she's really dragging in the arm, and then have it really ripple through the body, you know, the classic follow through kind of thing that it's kind of like a chain. Like, the first object on the chain was the arm. Now the arm is being pulled in first. So let's mark this with a 1. The arm is being pulled in first, and the body is barely moving. And then we have the chest area being pulled in, while the hip is still pretty much where it is. You know, you can move it over a little bit, and, you know, you can start moving things here. Maybe the head is even dipping a little bit to the right, or maybe he's still completely focused on the pictures, looking down. And then as a last step, the hip would follow. The hip would be last. You know, the hip would come in, and then he would vanish off screen. So just by adding this chain of arm is being dragged, then the shoulders being dragged, then the hip is being dragged, I think that could have given this motion more texture. So
Probably the only one in existence.
yeah. You know, what we have here isn't bad. It's still a good acting choice. It's still good. I just, you know, some steps in this motion would have been nice. Let's see. Elena says, it would be nice to have a video explaining the animation process. I'm trying to learn the animation pipeline for very simple projects so I can get the workflow down. Thank you. Yeah, really fascinating topics. Animatics are one of my favorite things to do in the animation process. And they're still, well, I'll talk about that probably more in another live stream, but I started to work with JK, the guy who founded Animator Island originally, a fantastic friend of mine, and we were brainstorming a little bit about a possible project that we're gonna do on the channel. We wanted to do a film, a little mini series, and you know, for that we're gonna do it all. We're gonna do character designs, we're gonna do writing, we're gonna do animatics, we're gonna explore the world, and then start building these little short films or short story snippets, and for that we're gonna do animatics. So that topic is definitely approaching at the latest when we really start going with this project. And yeah, hopefully lots of live streams about how different steps in the animation process are done, which then hopefully lead to shorter videos, you know, non-live stream videos, but we would have a lot of material hopefully to show that. So yeah, that's coming up. Machiavelli says it's difficult to find tutorials on compositing. I don't know if you have any videos on that, or could anyone send me a link? You are right. Yeah, I mean, we don't have that much about compositing. I don't think so. I think in a live stream I did something once, but yeah, that's actually a very valid point. What part of compositing are you interested in most? Like how to do light and shadow effects, like what, and you know, other people too, what are your questions about compositing? Because you are right, I think there are not that many tutorials about it, or if they are, they're always tutorials about very specific things, because compositing can look completely different depending on what production you have, what style you have. Yeah. What else do we have? Animatics. I had a live stream about storyboarding once, which has some quality issue. There was some issue with the sound, unfortunately. I think you can still find that if you look for storyboarding live streams. Just be warned. There is something up with the sound, and there's at one point there's multiple music tracks during the break playing at once. That was not a good live stream, but I think it has some good information. And I was actually doing some I was doing a lecture about storyboarding, and then later I was actively storyboarding on a short film. Impact frames, that's a cool topic, Soda Pop. Yeah, I love me some good impact frames. Sure. Actually, one thing that I already have on my list that I wanted to do soon is I wanted to animate a punch. Probably in a live stream, we're going to animate live, and then later I'm going to turn it into a video tutorial. And that will definitely have some thought put into the impact frame. That's an awesome topic, definitely. I want to do all of these. I want to do, like, why do I have to have other jobs? I wish I could just make tutorials. By the way, if you want to make that happen, you can support me on Patreon and make this my job so I can do more tutorials. Maybe, please. And I have already a lot of amazing people supporting me there. We also have a group mentoring over there. If you join in the group mentoring tier, there is a group meeting every month where you can show your animation, your work in progress, and I'll give you tips and tricks and talk about how you can improve it, how you can build your skills in general. And the other people in the group are also very lovely and have also amazing ideas, and it's always a lot of fun. So yeah, that's the stuff on Patreon, patreon.com/animatorisland. I really need to get the graphics back working. I currently cannot show text on screen, but you know, I'm gonna optimize this over the next couple weeks, hopefully. Yeah, this is such a lovely animation. I really like that. Let's watch the whole thing again because it's so amazing.
Oh my god!
I mean, I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Pretty decent photo of you, though. Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence.
I always see more stuff every time I watch this.
Oh my god!
Look at how the laughing is done. I think that's also very interesting.
Oh my god!
How much of the laugh is in the shoulder? And then there's this drop. Like, how does this work? I'm sorry, I'm getting obsessed with this animation. It's only the second one. Okay, so we have with the O, he's pulling up the shoulders. Yeah, and then it goes a little bit out of sync. Like here we have, he's going up and the shoulders are going up. He's relaxing a little bit and the shoulders are going down. And then the overlap starts. His head tilts a little bit more while his shoulder is already going up. And then it's releasing and going down. That's very cool.
Oh my god!
I mean, I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
No, you don't.
Yes.
The photo lip sync.
Lights in this photo.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Pretty decent photo of you, though. Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence.
Yeah, such a wonderful animation by Justin Jenkins. Well-deserved second place. Let's have a look at some more stuff. This animation is by Batuan.
Oh my god!
I mean, I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Pretty decent photo of you, though. Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence.
This one is also very lovely. I'm so happy to see 2D animation so far up here.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Yeah, the accents totally work.
Oh my god!
So this one I feel like could have done what the other one was doing very strongly. It's in here too a little bit, but I feel like it looks a little bit as if like the general proportions are kept for these poses. So we have like this amount of hair that we see at the top. We have like the same amount of chin, and then this is like pretty much just shifted back and forth. It gets a little bit thinner here. You can see that the width of what we see from the top of the head, that's a little bit thinner, but only a little bit than how it was here. And I wonder, like, it depends a little bit on the style that you're going for. Like, this is also very fluently animated, very, very lovely. From the character design, it could be a show, it could be pushed into feature film territory. But what I would consider is if we could squeeze a little bit more 3D-ishness out of this by having the, seeing more of the nostrils, because we see up the nose, and there's also a point where we start, look at that mouth shape, it's dipping down here. That's how it is. But if you lift up your head a lot, at some point you're gonna start seeing into the mouth, and then it's looking more like this, and you can see like the teeth like this. You can see the row of the teeth, and you not just see it like flat there. And same with the lower lip. You don't just have this curve here, but you start to see like a curve up. Do you see the difference? It's subtle, and maybe the cheek is going a little bit more up, and maybe this is becoming a little bit more of because we see the underside of the chin. So I wonder if like little nudges like this, and having the ear actually go down as he's leaning back. Could have been brought some more physicality, I think, to it. And right now, you know, it's a very solid drawing. Like, there are benefits in doing it like that. You're staying on model. You know, not much can go wrong if you keep the model very similar like this. And it's still squashy, it's still stretchy. And it does have a little bit of, like, there is a moment where her head dips back like this, but it's only for one frame that there's such big of a actual 3D-ishness in here. Other than that, it keeps the shapes fairly same. This one is also nice. Like, here, this also feels like, you know, it's all just the same angle, which is okay. And then we have that moment where this. And I feel like it makes such a big difference. You can see that this animator knows what they're doing. They can do this. We see a little bit of this line here that indicates an underside. I think this could have been nudged even more. You know, I think maybe it could have been more like this. I don't know. I love the foreshortening here, or the, you know, perspective twist there.
I do.
I love the big mouth shapes in between. Like, this one is very nice where it opens so much.
Oh my god!
I mean, I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
And the dew. That's a very nice 3D-ish lip. Very cool. Oh, look at that.
Pretty decent.
Pretty. The P has like the plosion, the air build up. Really nice, just for one frame.
Pretty decent photo of you, though. Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence.
It's a charming one. Lovely character designs, very nice. There's one thing with regards to steering wheels that always annoys me in movies. I feel like in some live action films, if they were like on a stage, like they were inside a car on a stage and they're on the steering wheel, there's some, we watched some Seinfeld episodes recently, and they were driving in a car and they were like all like driving like this, and they were just on a straight street in New York, and they were constantly doing this with the wheel. And this is a little bit of the opposite what sometimes happens in oh, there was an alert. Playhard just subscribed. Welcome, but why do we not see the alerts? This is still a mess here, my setup. So animation sometimes has the opposite problem in that if they attach stuff to somewhere, especially in 2D animation, you know, to have this whole like steering thing going, that's a lot of things that you need to keep in mind. Hi, Gabriel. So in animation, you sometimes have like the hands just glued to the wheel. I think a little bit of a nudge in the wheel once would have been a nice touch, maybe. Hey, Rusty Woodpecker from Australia. Welcome, welcome.
I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Pretty decent photo of you, though. Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence.
Yeah, head is a little bit bouncy. Again, you know, committing to some poses. Just a couple poses can be really enough. look at these eye shapes. I really like, you can really feel like the corners of the eye, you know, like there's a corner here, then this is wrapping around here, and you have the other corner here. And the reason why it looks like this is you can't really see that in this drawing, but this is what informed this eye shape, that you have like the eyelid going over the eye. And, you know, this gives you like this nice 3D-ish directional eye shape because you're seeing it a little more from the side. If you would be seeing it very much from the side, it would be like this, and we could see, you know, the eyelids going over the eyes like that. And if we see it completely frontal, we might not see these eyelid folds, except for, you know, maybe a little bit from like above and below. But like these kind of shapes you only get from the sides. So those are some nice eye shapes. Okay, let's go to the next one. Oh yeah, I saw this one.
Oh my god!
I mean, I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Pretty decent photo of you, though. Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence.
This is really good. Isn't it crazy how, you know, without overacting bouncing left and right and just some very deliberate motions, you can have so much effect. Like in a way it feels more realistic, naturalistic than the other ones, although we have clay monkeys here.
Oh my god!
I mean, I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Pretty decent photo of you, though. Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence.
Wow, I love those gestures. Like two stand out very much. Like I like the dedication to that laugh.
Oh my god!
I mean,
and then opening it up with the hand to the chest and having the other arm drop.
God.
I mean, I look
and
like
having it so slow, but look at the spacing here before the hand touches the chest. You can really feel the weight of the hand being tapped onto the chest because of this big spacing right before it. That really drives the impact home. Look at that.
I mean, I look like a deer.
Like it snaps to the chest.
I mean, I look like a deer in the head.
That is so nice. But then you have like, you know, it's probably done intentionally, but stop motion has a lot of like, especially in the finger, they tend to always wobble a little bit if you touched anything near them. But there's this nice little settle, like after this big snap, you still have a lot going on with like the finger settling, and you have the thumb moving out here. This must have been deliberate. This is deliberate.
I look like a deer in the headlights in this.
That is very nice.
I mean, I look like a deer.
And you know, it's going from a lean forward, we see the top of the head, to a lean back, to a lean up, we see the underside of the chin, and then it kind of settles in the middle. And it, like, look at these, how many frames that is.
I look like a deer in the headlights in this.
It's stop motion. I would not have the patience for it to, like, see how many frames that is. That is a motion that starts at frame 32. And it goes all the way to like 90. So it's another 60 frames. I mean, it's on 2s, so it's 30 frames. Is it on 2s? It's on 2s.
God.
I mean, I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
No, you don't.
And look what changes with the lip sync. Like, we saw these very energetic, very big facial expressions, but it still works in this more in this smaller approach.
No, you don't.
Yes. I mean, I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
No, you
And look how the look in her eyes, how important that is. Looking to left at him,
I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
and then looking down again. Like, hey, I want a reaction from you. I want you to.
I look like a deer in the headlights
Do you
in this
see
photo.
this?
I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
No, you don't.
Yes, I. Headlights in this photo.
No, you don't.
Yes.
And then the bump, again, big spacing here before the contact. And then after the spacing, after this big spacing, there's a push where both arms move, where they react to each other. And then he drops it relatively quickly. Look at this big drop, this big spacing of his right arm. And then there's an ease of the arm turning, really nice. And her reaction, the moment he touches her, she looks up. That is so nice.
Headlights in this photo.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
And then for the I do, the ever so slightly lean forward and settle like this. And look, this is an arc. And look how subtle this is. There's the same arc in the chest and in the head, just at different times. Look at the chest. It bends over, goes over, and after the chest reached its position, there are a couple of frames where the lip sync still has big spacings, while the chest area is already still. Just a couple frames.
Yes, I do.
And this gives this I do, although it's a very subtle, very small motion, quite a big impact.
I do. Yes, I do.
Haley says, I've heard that most stop motion animation films get like 4 to 6 seconds a day. This was probably an all day thing at least. Yeah, probably.
Don't.
Yes, I do. Headlights in this photo.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Pretty decent photo of you, though. Look at that.
Try to only.
The snappy turn when it's like, look at that. That is such a nice gesture.
You, though. Look at that.
Try to. Oh my god.
I mean, I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Pretty decent photo of you, though. Look at that.
Try to only one.
This is so lovely how you can feel the change, the shift in her thinking. Like, oh, I'm thinking all about me. This is a terrible photo.
Pretty decent photo of you, though.
And then like, huh, pretty decent photo of you though. I'm taking it like, you know, before she didn't want to see it any closer, but now that she realized like, oh, this is actually a pretty decent photo of you, she looks closer, and that arm gesture, tucking the arm there, that makes so much sense.
Pretty decent photo of you, though.
Like, it's a completely different mode. It goes from this very it's very like, oh, that's, I don't like that photo, to a completely like more relaxed kind of thing. Like, that's a pretty good photo of you. Really nice.
Look at that.
And then look at that. That's such a look at that motion. And how many frames it is. These are such small motions. I don't know how big these characters are, but you know, in stop motion, if you go in with your hands and you know your finger is like as thick as the entire hand here, it's so difficult to make these very subtle, very small motions. I mean, maybe these are quite big character puppets. I don't know, but this is quite... Look at how the motion starts of her flipping the photo. Like there's this big spacing here. Okay, so it starts with a small spacing, small favoring here, then big one, and then the photo flips back and forth. Just a couple frames. That is so cool. While her hand is already still, there's like this last settle of the photo.
Oh, look at that.
Probably the only.
Decent photo of you, though. Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence.
Really cool.
Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence. Oh my god.
Yeah, we are finding one great animation after the other. By the way, if there's anyone here who participated in the 11-Second Club in December and you want me to have a look at your animation, please tell me what the number of your entry is, what place it made, and we're gonna check it out here on the stream. Also, if you participated in previous 11-Second Club ones, and you can tell me like, hey, I participated in October last year and made spot 51 or something, then I can check it out from another year or another month. That would be no problem. Haley says, I don't think that they are that big. You can kind of see the clay texture on the body. Yeah, it feels like, this might be nudges from fingernails and stuff. Not that big. But yeah, very awesome animation by Paraskevi. Very nice. Let's have a look at the next one. Santa's Storage Room by Gabby. I think Gabby has done... We have seen other cool animations from them.
Oh my god.
I mean, I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Pretty decent photo of you, though. Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence.
So after we have seen some nice examples for filmmaking, I feel like this one is almost getting a little bit too static for the characters being so, you have a character that is relatively long compared to other characters, and I feel like you could play with space more. Like you could see the back of them, and see in what space they are. I mean, I guess Santa's storage room. So, maybe you could have like an opening shot of almost as if like looking down at them. Maybe to make up like a more physical room of some sorts. And have the boxes stacked here or whatever Santa has in the storage, maybe some gifts and stuff, to have like a nice establishing shot, because then we kind of go in some like very flat composition, which I feel like with these characters that have a lot of 3D built in because they are such long shapes, that is like not making the most of that character design. I feel like giving it not the most physical presence that they could probably have.
Oh my god.
I really love this gesture though.
Oh my god.
And look at that 3D-ish turn. Like what I said earlier, we can see into the mouth here. We can see into the mouth. We see the chin a little bit from below. And how there are two steps to this. Like the head is almost there. Is already like, this is already very small spacing. The head is already doing an ease. And then this is pretty interesting. So the hoof is coming up, pretty large spacing here of the left hoof. And then it's reaching the position at the top, and it's staying there for one frame. the hoof is up here, one frame, and then boom, it comes down. Okay, so there's one breakdown, and then there's a rather large spacing here. There's a little bit of volume here in this one, and then it has a lot of volume all of a sudden here. I'll probably tweak that, I guess. But it's so nice.
God.
I mean,
And you know, that nice little overshoot, it's overshooting and then going up. So it's coming down and then up. That's such a nice impact.
God.
I mean, I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
And the you know, we have the snappiness here. We have the snappiness of her taking the paper, and then we have this like slow, while she talks, she's like kind of sinking, like lets her shoulders drop and stuff like that. That's very nice. And the ears are coming down.
I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
You
Aw. And how the other hoof comes up.
Headlights in this photo.
That is so nice. By the way, touch is such an underrated thing in animation. You can do so much cool things by how you grab something, how you touch something. And to be like, you know, especially having like something small that you don't need to hold with two hands, and have this deliberate gesture of like, I'm having a closer look with both hands, you know, is something different than like, you know, casually, like I'm holding something with one hand. Feels so different than, I want this to be very stable, I want to hold on to it, or see it very clearly. That's such a nice acting gesture.
Lights in this photo.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
And the drop on down, don't, very nice.
You don't.
Yes.
Look at this. This is a 3D tilt. Look at the eyes. So there's this moment where we see it completely sideways, then the eyes slowly coming in the other side, and then it's dropping down. This is such a nice 3D-ish head turn. And look at the ear doing a little overshoot here.
Don't.
Yes.
And it all works so well with this don't. You have the lip sync, you have the head drop, and you have the ear flop.
Don't.
Yes.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
And that's pretty cool too. Also very 3D-ish, going from the 3/4 to the side. And then look at the O. Interesting. So the biggest part of the O is right after the impact. It's not with the impact, it's after it.
I do.
Oh, do.
I do.
Cool. A little bit of a
I
offset.
do. Pretty decent photo of you, though. Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence.
Yeah. This is such a nice one. I want to see a whole Christmas movies with these two. Yeah, very nicely done, Gabby. Let's have a look at the next one. By Aaron James.
Oh my God.
I mean, I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Pretty decent photo of you, though. Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence. Oh my God.
I mean, I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
No, you don't.
I feel like out of all of the overacting ones, you know, that ones that have heads bouncing around, for some reason I really like this one a lot more than the other ones.
Oh my God.
I mean,
Oh my God.
See how much that is? Like, oh my God. For each word we have a big accent.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I mean,
And then even after it, we drop down and then there's this big laugh.
Oh my God.
I mean, I look like a
somehow this works for me more than the other ones. So what do they do? And it's always with the hands too. It can't be that the hands are more calm.
Oh my god!
Because they're not really.
I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Pretty decent photo of you, though. Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence.
I can't really pinpoint it. I think it gets a little quieter after his big burst.
Oh my god!
I mean, I look like a deer in the headlights in this.
Yeah, it's slower after that. So this one is pose, pose.
I look like a deer.
And her energy is a little calmer. It's
Oh my god!
pose,
I mean,
pose,
I look like a deer in the headlights in
pose.
this photo.
No, you don't.
And for photo, there's a head shake.
It's in this photo.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, okay, there's a head movement too, but the base pose. She goes into the base pose fairly early and then holds it.
Pretty decent photo of you.
So apparently just, like, where does it start? 159. And then like 180. Oh, yeah, good 10 frames, bit more than 10 frames of a hold.
Yes, I do. Pretty decent photo of you, though. Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence. Oh my.
Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence.
Yeah, I mean, I still can't pinpoint it down. Still, like, it's bouncy, but it's also like using these like head shakes. But while the body is relatively like, look, the body stays relatively still, and then we have the head shaking.
Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence.
Very lovely animation. I like it a lot. Okay, let's have a look at the next one.
Oh my god!
I mean, I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Pretty decent photo of you, though. Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence.
What's up with all these 2D animations here? So wonderful.
Oh my god!
I mean, I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
That's also a very nice mixture of like relatively, like we have relatively clear dips from left to right. Like there are extreme poses in a way. There is this curved pose. So crazy how she can have, does she have like braided hair? Amazing how these character designs work. And then, you know, there is a second pose that she goes into, a second body lean, which is more like this. It's fairly static down here, but we have a nice head tilt, which is pretty cool. And then we have her her head shaking.
You're in the headlights in this photo.
No, you don't.
And then she's going back to the lean over.
Yes, I do.
And I love for the I do, like all of this is in service of the yes, I do. Like there's an anticipation happening throughout this entire sentence to end in the snappy motion at the end.
Yes,
Yes,
I do.
That's a very nice rule. If you have something that you really want to stress, have the anticipation build up and then say what you want to say. So I'm trying to make a very important point. That's a pretty cool technique. I like that.
You don't.
Yes, I do. Pretty decent photo of you, though.
And then her bounce up. Like, it changed a little bit of the mode here. Like, we had her leaning left, right, then very far to the left, then right again. And then it's mixing it up ever so slightly by just having a bounce up.
Pretty decent photo of you, though. Decent photo of you, though.
That works very, very well.
Decent photo of you, though. Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence.
You know, and again, touch. We have a different kind of touch here. We have him brushing it up. You know, there are different ways to do this. I feel like he could have done it less gentle.
The only one in existence.
Or snappier, but it really fits to the character and the voice that we get from the character.
Pretty decent photo of you, though. Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence.
Yeah, very nice. All right. Once again, the offer, if you have participated in December's 11 Second Club and you want me to talk about your entry, please let me know. Or if you're here and you have participated in a past 11 Second Club and you want me to have a look at your past entry, please just let me know which month, year, and place it is, and I can check it out. Or, you know, you can also do this next stream. I'm trying to do this every month now. Yeah, so if you participate in the 11 Second Club, you can always tell me and I will check it out. If you missed the live stream, I will check it out in the next live stream. You can go to animatorisland.com. There you find a contact form where you can write me an email when I'm not live that you would like me to check out your entry. Okay, so let's have a look at the next one. Gato Animaciones says, one tutorial, Pikachu in animation. You want a tutorial about how to animate Pikachu? Yeah, I don't know. I try to stay clear of like copyrighted designs a little bit. But you know, maybe it's something we could do in a live stream at one point. Because, you know, there are all kinds of troubles when you use other people's character designs and names and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, maybe we can do some, like, especially because part of the job of an animator is it to adapt other styles. So I think it's quite an important skill to have, take an existing character design and try to draw as closely to it as possible. All right, let's have a look at the next one. I think we saw it now, Gato.
Oh my god!
I mean, I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Pretty decent photo of you, though. Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence. Oh my god!
I mean, I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Pretty decent photo of you, though. Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence.
I do like this gesture of him like flicking the paper. That's
Only one.
That's a nice non-cliche way. I wouldn't have dropped the hand right after it. Like he does the flick, and then the hand goes down immediately. I think I would have seized that a little bit more. Christopher Strelioff subscribed. Welcome, welcome. So I think I would have probably, because it's a really good idea. It's a non-cliche idea to be like, you know, here, look at that photo. And I think I just would have had to hold the hand a little bit here and then have it drop down. That would have probably been more than enough. Gato, we have I have read it, and I don't even know exactly what you want me to do. Yeah. Yeah, Hilly, thank you. Okay, Hilly, I'm gonna make you a mod. You don't have to do it, but you now have the power to hide spam messages if you want to do that for me. Okay. So, yeah, the flick is very cool.
You though. Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence.
And for some reason, I also like this little gesture of like the hand just going up. I feel like that adds like a little bit of realism to, you know, the way how we handle props, and, you know, especially with regard to text, to move up your finger to read something, you know, to you were reading something, then you have to move down to see the rest of the text. That feels very human. That feels very real. So I think that's a very good acting choice too. Yeah, don't worry about it, Hilly. No big obligations with this or anything. You can also just write me an email if you want to do it or not do it or something. I was just figuring, since you're here all the time anyways, and I always see the spam so late sometimes, that it would be nice to have a couple of mods helping, maybe. So that I really like about this one. You know, this is a very classic one with the rubbing the back of the neck. But there are a couple of things that I don't like that much about it.
Oh my god!
The laugh, like, it gets the basics right in that the laugh has a lot to do with the shoulders.
God!
But it's also the chest area.
Oh my god!
And what gives it away that something is wrong with this laugh is the neck here. If you look at the collar, it's not moving a lot.
Oh my god!
And this is not like when you have like a very big, well, I guess not belly laugh because it goes up into your chest. Then look at my collar here. It goes like oh, like you have like a little bit of a shift going through the entire chest area, and it doesn't stay that static there.
Oh my god!
I mean, I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
And how he, like, that is also a nice gesture to, like,
Don't.
Reach with his fingers over his fingers. That's very
No, you
nice.
Don't.
Yes, I do. Pretty decent photo of you, though. Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence.
Look at her eyes. That is so nice.
Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence.
How she looks down at it, he flicks it, and then he looks up at him to really, like, see him talking.
Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence.
And some, like, more subtle shifts. Really nice. Hey Ryan Jr. Welcome. Okay, let's have a look at the next one. Okay.
Oh my god!
I mean, I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Pretty decent photo of you, though. Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence.
What? What? Oh my god. Okay, I mean, I guess. Butt-o-meter. Okay.
Oh my god!
I'm not sure I would have led with the butt-o-meter. But I think the reveal of, hey, we have breaking news here, and we see aliens abducting a person, and then we zoom out when we're in the spaceship of the aliens. I think that could have really worked as a setup. It gets a little bit muddy because of the butt-o-meter. But I think, you know, just breaking news and seeing the screen almost fully, and then it coming out of it, at least as I thought it was a heart. Yeah, I was also wondering, like, oh, is this gonna be a Valentine's one? A nice romantic Valentine's one? No. And then, yeah, I think I would have done this even full screen, and then thought like, okay, we're just watching a news segment, and then we zoom out and we're in the spaceship, and not so sure about, like, this is a very stagey setup, which sometimes for this kind of humor works quite okay, but I wonder if some, you know, more 3D-ish, maybe reverse shot or something like this could have been, I don't know. It does work. Like, Rick and Morty sometimes also has some very sideways kind of image compositions, but if we would, like, put a little bit more of 3D space into it, oh my god, what am I doing here? And have her look further more in his direction. We barely see the eye, and maybe we see him more frontal, or exactly like he is right now, just to open up the space a little bit. Jemix says classic research in alien abduction. Yes, Gato, I also animate, and sometimes we animate on this channel, just not today. You want to become an animator too, a new subscriber? That's nice, that's nice. I do like, in general, like, what is cool about this setup is that we're completely out of the cliche area, and having the alien to the right just handle the
Pretty
probe.
decent photo of you, though. Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence.
And, you know,
Photo of you, though.
poses being held,
Look at
that's
that.
a pretty safe bet. I probably would have dropped it at some point here, because holding the tension to test something, you would probably drop that if you you know, you checked whatever you checked.
Pretty decent photo of you, though. Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence.
Yeah, I think I would have dropped it here
Pretty decent photo of you, though.
now.
Look at that.
Probably the
The moment he gets distracted. Like, you know, he would be like, pretty decent photo of you though, would be set, and he's like checking it, and then well, you know, the moment he starts talking to her, well, I think he can drop it. I think that would feel more realistic. Making reference, just filming yourself or have somebody else film you with a smartphone while you check out an alien probe can really improve your animation quality. The sentences that I'm saying in this for this one, I don't know. Let's go to the next one. Still pretty decent, by Alex Maynard. Okay, so next one by Mario.
Oh my god!
I mean, I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Pretty decent photo of you, though. Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence.
I like the setup here too.
Oh my god!
It's too bad that, I mean, the background is moving, but we don't really, like, I almost didn't feel the motion.
Oh my god!
I mean, I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Pretty decent photo of you, though.
Look at the interpolation in the mouth shapes. That's really, like, this really snappy. That's really cool. It goes from like this shape immediately into the O here. It feels a little bit like a claymation, like replacement animation, like in the Leica films where they like switch out the mouth shapes. I mean, they do have pretty fluent mouth shapes in this film, but that is pretty cool. And I like this mouth shape here too. That's such a nice, like, we have a curve that is a little bit curved to one side. We have, like, there's asymmetry all over the place, which I think makes this gives it this very organic feeling.
Headlights in this photo.
No, you don't.
And the F, it's held for 2 frames. The mouth shape is completely still while the rest of her body is still moving. I like this feeling. Like, it's not a realistic lip sync, but it's like super snappy, super nice. Yeah, on 2s. Yeah, Hilly, that's exactly the feeling.
Oh my god!
I mean, I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Pretty decent photo of you, though. Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence.
It feels like Wallace and Gromit a little bit, doesn't it?
Oh my god!
I mean, I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Pretty decent photo of you, though. Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence.
Nice. Yeah, I like the Artman animation. Soda Pap says, I wonder if that was done with Blender. Yeah, I think I've seen the bird before in like a Blender, like on a Blender website or something.
Oh my god!
I mean,
Jemek says, she's walking, but this movement is not noticeable at normal speed.
Oh my god!
I mean, I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
Yeah, it's probably a bit too much.
Yes, I do. Pretty decent photo of you, though. Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence.
Yeah, that's a bit too bad with the walking. Like, something about it doesn't work quite right.
Yes, I do. Pretty decent photo of you, though. Look at that.
Very nice change. When the facial expression changes, it changes with a blink.
Of you, though. Look at that.
Probably the only one.
For, you know, that's a very good place for a blink, to be like,
Oh, look at that.
between two sentences, between two thoughts. That's the perfect place for a blink. Yeah, when you speed it up, you can see how the background changes. Yeah, true, but it doesn't seem to match. I mean, there is some weird stuff that can happen. Like if you look closely, if you would make this footage, and I guess what's also a little bit weird, like it feels like a very smooth steady cam. Like if somebody would be going with a handheld camera or something in front of the character, or I don't know, it feels a bit soft, bit mechanic, and she's bouncing. Yeah, so much bouncing for this relatively subtle background shift. Hey Oreo. Yeah, nice to see you. Yeah, I mean we already went to a bunch of them, but you can always go back, watch the recording. It's nice to have you here live now.
Oh my god!
I mean, I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
Look at that nice little, like, him looking at her.
I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
And then looking at the phone.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Pretty decent photo of you, though.
I like the adjustment of the wings. I feel like it is a bit too much. Like, after the bird lands...
Pretty decent photo of you.
He unfolds the wings again. That's something very...
Pretty decent photo of you.
Typical. But I feel like it should be a little bit more subtle. Like, okay, he's flying, he's landing, and then maybe he's just adjusting, you know, not going back into the spread wing shape. You know, he was flying, landing, folding, and then maybe the settling doesn't have to do with this wing shape, but it's more like, you know, like going out there. Like the opposite of that curve, like more like this. And, you know, settling like this, I think would have been enough than fully spreading the wing. That's a bit much.
Decent photo of you, though. Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence. Oh my...
Okay. Yeah, by the way, once again, if you want to support me, you can do that on patreon.com/animatorisland. There we also have the group mentoring. If you want feedback from me about whatever animation you're currently working on, or character design, or a story idea, then you can submit it in the group mentoring tier. If you join Patreon in the group mentoring tier, you can join a monthly live session where you can show whatever you're currently working on and get feedback. I'll annotate over it. I'll give you tips and tricks on how to make it better and how to build your skills in general. That is the group mentoring membership that you can check out on patreon.com/animatorisland. Red Fox Benetton 77 asks, why is it so hard to get good animation? Is it true that anime animators still use paper and ink but color it in a computer? It depends. There are a lot of you know, especially in Japan, there are a lot of great masters of animation who refuse to work on anything else but paper. But generally, most productions are digital nowadays, especially if it's for television. You know, if they're like tight deadlines, I think most people nowadays work on computers completely digitally, especially because, you know, drawing tablets and drawing screens have gotten so good. I know that I think in Hayao Miyazaki's, in Studio Ghibli's productions, there are a bunch of animators who still like to animate on paper because they like the feeling. But, you know, for a Studio Ghibli film, you also have the time to do that and the resources to do that. But most of it is digital. Yeah, Haley. Let's let's see, what else do we have? If you're asking why is it hard to get good at animation, last major anime to use cells was Love Hina. Ah, okay, I didn't know that. Thank you, Hilly. So, to answer the rhetorical question why animation is so hard, I think it's sometimes very good to think about what we are doing when we're animating. We're doing so much at once of things that each thing individually could fill an entire career. You could become an actor and just think about acting choices and trying to become the character. And, you know, there are a couple of things that actors have to do that animators don't. A lot of awesome skills that can be developed there. But as an animator, you need to have a feeling for that, and you need to be able to draw. You know, as an illustrator, you know, maybe you rely a little bit more on just the drawing side of things. Maybe if you only do painting, you only do painting. But in animation, it all comes together. And, you know, in professional animations, they try to split it up again and have, like, you know, people specialized in the color, people specialized in all these separate things. But very often when you start learning animation, you're doing animation by yourself, and you're like, I want to do an animation film by myself. You do it all. You do the acting, you do the storytelling, you do the camera work. You know, you could become a camera person, and that could be your entire profession. But in in animation, you have to have good staging. You have to have a feeling for composition. You have to have a feeling for rhythm, for, you know, in a way also a feeling for music and sound effects and these kind of things. And all of that is combined in animation. And I think the only thing that adds one more is games, because in games you have all of that. You have, you know, how you present things, how you color things, how you animate things, and then you, on top of that, you have how to make it interactive and deal with the user input on top of it. But yeah, it's a profession that just unifies so much stuff in one thing. Would you please suggest a software for video editing and cutting? Well, DaVinci Resolve is a good pick, but there is Shotcut, I think. Let me double check. I mean, DaVinci Resolve is very professional, but yeah, Shotcut is what it's called. Let me think if there's any other video editing that I know of. Can't think of another one right now. I personally cut in Adobe Premiere and I really like it. I've really gotten used to it, and I really like how it works with, you know, and Adobe puts a lot of work into having Adobe Premiere run very efficiently with NVIDIA graphics cards, which is what I usually have. So yeah, I'm using Adobe Premiere for all my animatic cutting, for all my final cutting of animation, for all my live action stuff, for the Animator Island videos. Really like that. I mean, yeah, in After Effects you could also do some basic form of video editing. Yeah, if your PC is hitting the limit for video editing, then I mean, yeah, DaVinci Resolve is very demanding. Shotcut might run a little bit better, but video editing, unfortunately, is a very demanding task. Red Fox says, I'm trying to prevent off-model seizure-inducing animation. Oh, Hilly, that's a good point. Blender has a built-in video editor. It's probably not the most intuitive thing in the world, but yeah, somewhere in Blender there's a video editor. Absolutely right. Yeah, about seizure-inducing animation. I would watch my videos about timing. There are 2 videos that I did about timing. They're about 2D animation, but if you apply that to 3D animation, it will help you to slow down your animation and get a feeling for how fast you can go from pose to pose. Because, you know, that's a thing that can happen very quickly, that you set too many poses and get the speed too high. And it's very difficult to estimate timing. Because, you know, that's one of the things where you get a feeling for eventually, but until you have that feeling, I think clinging onto spacing patterns can really help. Always reminding yourself, like, try putting a lot more space between your keyframes and stuff like that. Go very pose to pose. You don't need to have motion all the time. It's pretty tricky. It's pretty tricky in the beginning. Let's have a look at another one. More 2D. Christmas Team by Camilla.
Oh my god!
I mean, I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
You don't.
Yes, I do. Pretty decent photo of you, though. Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence.
That's a nice, like, Scott Pilgrim kind of style. Let's see how he's setting the box down. I mean, if you put a weight exercise in your 11SecondClub animation, I gotta have a look at it, right? Okay, so I would have probably, they come to a stop almost at the same time. I think this is usually not how you would set down a box. You probably make sure that it is set down halfway safe, and then you would start to bend up. It would probably be a 2-step process of setting down the box. What do I have? Do I have a box? I need, you know what I need? I need different size props here. I need to have like differently, like I have my glasses case or something, you know, to just demonstrate things real quick. So I think how you would put down the box is you would put it down and then you would get up. I guess that was not so difficult to demonstrate. So put it down and you know, kind of have your hands gradually be lifted off. Like there could be a whole offset of like box put down. Maybe the body is only arriving then. After the box was put down, there's still a little bit of, you know, moving forward. And then you have like maybe an offset at the body's already starting to move back, and only then the hands start coming back. And maybe the body reaches the end position, and then the arms reach the end position. And in that animation, you kind of have it all at once. I mean, you have a little bit of an overshoot thing, but it's still all happening at the same time. A little bit of offset would have been nice. I feel like there's a beat missing here. So he set down the box and then he looks up. This almost feels like an acting mistake to me, because he is looking immediately at the right spot. He's looking immediately at the image. It feels a little bit as if he knows that the image is there. The beat that I'm kind of missing here is, okay, so you would set something down. You would set something down, you're done with that task, and you're looking up like with a soft focus, like just into the room. And then you're like, huh? Oh, that's a picture of us. You know, there's a beat missing. You set it down, you open up your focus, and you're like, what is that? You start narrowing in again. And I think this opening of the focus is kind of missing here. Hilly says these are Toon Boom models. I recognize the girl. Okay. Yeah, soda pop cutout animation, indeed. Yeah. I miss like opening up focus and then being like, huh, what is that picture? And I think, you know, maybe there could have been something like a slight lean forward. Be like, huh, what is that? What is that picture? You know, just a tiny bit to give like a second beat, a second little moment here. Yeah, or stopped for a second and looked up. You know, you can do these things also purely with the eyes. Like, you know, just having an eye dart would probably be enough to be like, to have like, it's also, you know, it's also a big coincidence to look exactly at the image. You know, when he's looking up, he would look a little bit off and then the eye would dart over. Like there would be a slight shift. And since it's cut out, like it's sometimes a bit tough to do that in like frame-by-frame 2D animation, but in cutout animation and 3D animation, those eye darts often work so very well. There's no excuse to not have them.
Oh my god!
I mean, I
similar acting mistake here. You know, it depends a little bit on the story that you tell. If you're telling the story that, I mean, what room is that? This is a library? It says art, history. Like, does she know that this picture is there? Because I feel like acting wise, it could also be like, what is he laughing about? What is, oh, that picture. But she's talking while she's moving towards there, which is a possibility. Like if she knows this room inside out and she knows that the picture is there, then she can go over it and you know, talk while she does that. But I think, especially for an 11-second short scene, I think the more believable story to tell would be her like, what are you laughing about? Like, what? And then be like, oh, you know, and also have this like two kind of steps process. Like step one is like, what are you laughing about? What is there? It's the second one, and the third one is, oh, and then she talking about it. So I'm missing these beats here.
I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
You don't.
I do like the accent on headlight though.
I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
You don't.
This drops a little bit too quickly to a
In this photo.
completely different pose for me, especially because, you know, it's leaned in the 3/4 pose, and then the body goes in a frontal pose, and then she's leaning.
Photo.
You don't.
Yes, I do. Pretty decent photo of you, though.
Here, I really like it because this gives you the association of like, okay, she's like looking closer at it. That's kind of cute. That's kind of nice. But I don't like it for... We had some tension here.
You don't.
Yes, I do.
We have the tension of, yes, I do. Do you understand? And then to dissolve it immediately, to go soft like this. I don't know. It takes away from the tension, you know? Yes, I do. And he's like reacting like, then maybe, yes, I do. Maybe only drop it a little bit while he's reacting. And then eventually she could go to this one and look at it and be like, oh, this is kind of nice picture of you. Like, that makes sense. But to have it go tension, relaxed, tension, relaxed, it softens everything. It softens the tension. It takes away from the softness of the more relaxed pose. So just cutting it down again.
Pretty decent photo.
Especially because this works.
Of you though. Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence.
Look at that.
I think look at that and then closing the eye bothers me. Maybe she closes the eye. No, is she reacting to the... No, she's not.
Oh. Look at that.
I don't think a character who says look at that should close their eyes. Because, you know, either they want to look at it with them, they'd be like, come here, look at that, you know, still fixated on it, or they're like, come here, look at that, and they want to see their reaction. But I don't think you would say look at that and close your eyes. You know, maybe for a blink, like before you say look at that, before you gaze over to the other person, look at that. Like, that makes sense to have a eye blink there, but I don't think you would hold your eyes closed when you want to show something to someone and you might want to see
photo of you though. Look at that.
Their reaction. I don't think that makes sense necessarily.
Existence.
Which it's interesting what I'm focusing on here, right? We're talking mostly about acting things because, you know, the animation is a bit stiff because, you know, it's cutout animation. You have like the oh, this is a decent offset. We have the hand coming up, the elbow settling in a position, and then the hand is still moving and stuff like that. That's decently done. Like, you know, the animation quality, it has eases, it has arcs, it is a bit stiff because it is a puppet animation. But then I really want good acting beats. Like, that's what I jump at immediately, even if it's like a very stylized animation. Okay. I do like the facial expression.
Probably the only one in
how it like drops to this like kind of like
existence.
That fits very well. Hilly also says, I like how Scott is animated. Indeed, indeed.
A decent photo of you though. Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence.
And to pull out the candy cane like this, it's nice. It has a lot of nice touches. I'm just missing that last little bit of, I don't know, is it realism? It's like impulses coming from the character. Let's have a look at the next one by Mahesh. Okay.
Oh my god!
I mean, I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Pretty decent photo of you, though. Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence.
What? Okay, we're pulled here into an entire world here. Oh, Instagram. Nice touch. Starbugs.
Oh my.
So from a cinematography perspective, I would probably have nudged the camera a little bit higher or lower, having it look up a little bit more or down a little bit more. Right now, it feels like a bit... Like, it's hard to articulate what I want here, what I feel is not quite adding up. I think it's at the moment, this camera perspective is not helping either scale. It doesn't make the trash can bigger, and it doesn't make the house smaller. So I would probably either look up a little bit more and be like, okay, we have a trash can here, but you know, the house is kind of already getting a little bit of a house scale, pushing us a little bit more down onto the perspective of the bugs. Or I would have said like, okay, I want to stress how this is miniature. Then I would probably have chosen a perspective a little bit higher up. And yeah, I don't know. Right now, I feel like it's not doing a service in either direction, which I guess is okay if you want it to be a bit neutral. And then you're kind of not utilizing the left of the screen. Like, I mean, there are what? There's a little Vespa with some bugs, which is nice. But I would probably have the big insect. I mean, I can see why it comes into the screen on top of the trash can, because you can see the silhouette a lot better. But you know, I would have probably utilized this this more, and maybe, you know, also in service of the 3D space, to have something be very big and then go smaller.
Oh my god!
I also don't like how close this arc is to the building. Like, you know, this arc hugs around the building. I would give it its own space. So, you know, it can be its own thing that has nothing to do with the building. Yeah, Starbucks is great.
Oh my god!
That's a really good laugh animation.
Oh my god!
This is so nice. Look at how he slams the fist at the table.
Oh my god!
And how it's like bouncing a little bit. Oh, and the table moves and the plates move too. That's a really nice touch. Really nice.
My god!
And it anchors him, and there's like a multi-layered approach to the laugh. There's like going back, slamming the fist on the table, having a slower motion going forward, but then having this bounce up and down in the chest.
God.
I mean, I look like a deer.
And then giving it over to her at the end.
God.
I mean, I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Pretty decent photo of you, though. Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence.
it like it's weird how good and crappy this is at the same time. Like, it's like just the two giant spheres on top of like an oval. But you know, the animation, the spacings are really cool. Yeah, like 90s CGI. Yeah. And look at how his hand goes from like it had angles the entire time.
God.
I mean,
and then there's the snap into the straight arm that comes at just the right time.
I mean, I look like a deer in the headlights in this photo.
And photo, that accent when she brings the gesture down.
Lights in this photo.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
I like that subtleness of the, like, there's this big motion, you know, this big arc that we have seen a couple of times, and it gets concluded with her eyes going narrower, like roll, narrow, and then there's this little wiggling with the phone.
Yes, I do. Pretty decent photo of you, though. Look at that.
Probably the only one.
How he's busy with the plate That's also great animation, great acting
though.
choice.
Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence.
And then, you know, the way how you handle props is really like there are different quality levels to it. There's advice given to animators early on, like use props, and then, you know, the animators would give them something in the hand, and then they would just do the same performance, but the character is holding a glass, and it's not really adding to the performance if the character is just holding a glass. But if you use that prop for characterization, then that is where props really shine. You know, if you have a character holding a glass and they're like, it's already empty, you know, you add this to it, or, you know, like the slam on with the fork, you use that for acting, then it takes the whole animation into a new dimension of believability. Which, I mean, dimension of believability is a weird thing to say for this animation here. But
You though. Look at that.
Probably the only one.
and then what is he doing on the plate? Like, what is going on there? Like, he's pushing
You though.
something,
Look at that.
Probably the only
scraping
one.
it, and then
Look at that.
Probably the only one in
picking
existence.
it up. Look at the shrug
Only one in existence.
for existence.
Only one in existence.
How can something be so over the top and so subtle at the same time?
Photo of you though.
Look at her other hand in support of the big gesture.
Pretty decent photo of you though. Look at that.
Probably the only one in existence.
When he drops the plate, it drops
One in existence.
very nicely. It drops, and he moves his arm a little bit in an arc and places it on the table.
Only one in existence.
There's a very nice animation. Yeah. Soda Pop says, watching this live stream today reminds me of how much real acting goes into creating animation and how the 12 basics were designed to work around that. Yeah, it's weird how that all, you know, has to come together. What we talked about earlier, so many things, like 12 principles of animation. If you really think about, some talk about, you know, staging, quite literally. It's about design, about camera work. And then you have stuff like slow in, slow out, which is physics. And you have all these things coming together. And then, you know, you have, by the way, appeal. You should do something that is appealing and, you know, both in design and in behavior and mind. Like the 12 principles touch on it all. But ultimately, I feel like the most important thing is that these impulses are right. That these, you know, you can have bad animation. Like, one of my favorite examples, there's this film called Hoodwinked, which is a very cool take on Red Riding Hood, told as like a crime story from different perspectives and stuff like that. Very well written, but the character design is crap. The animation is a bit wooden, but they have some decent pose-to-pose approach. Like, the poses are okay. There's no like big floatiness going on all the time, but it's really the acting impulses and the, you know, there are like, when they talk, there are like pauses to have the dialogues unfold, like silent moments and stuff like that. The acting, the impulses that you put into your animation, and those little gestures, those little subtleties can even save an animation that otherwise would have a disadvantage, like you know, crappy render quality or like very silly character design, like in this case. Four basic things I'll get solid animation. I'm not sure what exactly you talk about, Red Fox. So the thing with the 12 principles of animation, I saw that I say all this too in like a video, the first couple of videos of the 2D animation class here on YouTube. There's a little bit of a danger with the 12 principles of animation because they are a list of very important things that are very good to know, and you have to know them as an animator. But I feel like they're very bad for learning because they throw you from one big thing into the next big thing. And if you say like, okay, today I'm gonna practice ease in, ease out. And tomorrow I'm gonna practice appeal. You don't practice stuff that builds, one thing on top of each other. Where I think a better way to learn is to focus on the 12 principles of animation can be split into 3 fields. You have physics, life, which is like this whole acting and psychology thing, and you have aesthetics, design, appeal, these kind of things. And it's quite good to separate them a little bit, to be like, okay, I want to get real good at physics first. And when you practice physics, like light things falling and bouncing, heavy things falling and bouncing, something being pushed, something falling over, you're probably focusing like on 3 or 4 principles of animation for now. Like you're mostly focusing on spacing, ease, and timing. But those are very important to get physics right. And to be like, oh, I need to get through the 12 principles of animation as quickly as possible, or like if I've done everything once, I have a good animation, it is a bit dangerous. Just with spacing, timing, and ease in, ease out, you can spend a lot of time cracking physics. You can spend a month of doing like bouncing ball, then jumping animation, then maybe a little obstacle course, first with the bouncing ball, then a character jumping, which opens up body mechanics, which is kind of not even talked about that much in the 12 principles of animation. But how exactly does the shoulders and the arms compensate for weight shifts and stuff like that? And yeah, you can spend a lot of time just mastering that, and then later adding psychology and acting and stuff on top of that. But I also understand, that just practicing physics is pretty boring. We're all doing animation to tell stories. So yeah. When I make like plans for my students what to learn, I try to mix it up, to maybe already go a little bit into animatics, to already try to feel a little bit like looking at reference, how much time it actually takes for characters to react, have something like head turns or head just looking up, reacting to something, mixed in with all these things that are mostly physics and body mechanics. But that's already good stuff to spend half a year of practicing with. All right, I think with these glorious flies, we had the most crazy, wonderful entry, wonderful finale for this live stream. Once again, if you like the way how I teach animation, how I give feedback, you can support me. I was pointing in the wrong direction. You can support me on Patreon, on patreon.com/animatorisland. And there we also have the group mentoring tier. People who join the group mentoring tier on Patreon, they can join a monthly group mentoring session where you can present whatever you're currently working on, whatever you want feedback on. It could be an animation, a character design, a story idea, an animatic, and we can go over it together, and I'll annotate it, give you tips and tricks on how to make it better and how to build your skills in general. That is the group mentoring on our Patreon, patreon.com/animatorisland. And yeah, that's it for today. I think this was a I had a very good time looking at these animations with you. Thank you all so much for participating in the chat so much. It's always so nice to, get into a conversation with all of you. I think we saw some really cool animations. I really need to keep this trick in mind with like having, if you want to stress a word very much, to have like the anticipation be leading up to it and then say the word that you want to stress. I think that's a very simple trick that I'm trying to keep in mind from this. We had some nice asymmetric mouth shapes and a lot of these. Perspective was a thing. Like in the end, in the beginning, we were talking a lot about seeing the head from above, seeing the head from below, and having tilts in 3D space, even in 2D animation, which I think was very interesting to see. So yeah, I had a lot of fun looking at all these different entries today. Oh yeah, it has a little bit of a breathing in too. That's right, Hilly, if you have like that. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do live streams weekly again. Don't hold me at gunpoint with that, but I'll try. And yeah. Oh, Soda Pop, that would be awesome. I'd be very happy to have you in the Patreon group. And yeah, this year's gonna be exciting for Animator Island, I think. Because I wanna see if we can do more stuff as a community. Live streams, regular live streams, I think would already help with this. But yeah, and then maybe working on this big film project together and streaming every step of the process, which will also give me lots of material to make tutorials about. I'm excited to see how that will turn out. And thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful time wherever you are. Keep on animating, keep on practicing, and yeah, don't forget to be kind to yourself too. And I'm very looking forward to the next time. Let's play some music. Do I have some music here? To play it out. What do we have? Okay, something silly, why not? All right, everybody, see you again soon. Take care and goodbye.